Okay, today was my first official day trading in my new Apex PA account, $25,000 PA account. I'm going to go over my trades for today. It was a lot of chaos, or at least for me it's chaos, but it turned out okay. Could have been better, and I'll talk about that right here. But first, starting on the daily, kind of want to give you my thought process. It's pretty simple. I mean, we had eight bull candles in a row on the daily chart. I'm like, okay, so bulls have to take profits somewhere, right? Like, when is that going to happen? So even though everything is screaming bullish, and even my strategies, the rules for my strategies are like bullish, go long, I wasn't really feeling comfortable going long. The only reason, and I mean the only reason why I sort of felt like I got a little bit of hope of going long is we had this gap on the daily. A small gap right here. So I said to myself, I said, well, if I take a long, it'll be only for this gap and that'll be it. Like, I'm not going to hold for a day trade past price, completely filling that gap. I really wanted to go short, which price did, we did come up, and there's just a little tiny bit more for the gap to be completely filled. We'll see if that happens. I'm still a little skeptical of going long. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of want to short. I mean, 8 bull candles in a row, like that's crazy on the daily. Obviously, it can continue doing whatever it wants. That's just wild to me. I just would think we would have some selling a little bit right now. So let me go into the actual trades that I took on the 3-minute chart. And by the way, this is MNQ. So I'm looking for the 10 EMA strategy. This is one of the strategies that I do. In my 10 EMA strategy, I am looking to go short. I'm looking for the first bull candle opening and closing below this blue line you see here on my chart, which is my 10 EMA. What you do to go short is when you find a candle like that, you get in below the low somewhere and you put your stop at a nice pivot or above or right at, a strong candle. I put my stop just right at the high, basically, of this candle, which had a lot of bear volume right here. I mean, if this gets taken out, right, price is definitely going to, I think, go up. Yeah, it actually, price today couldn't really get above this high of this candle with all this volume. So that's kind of a strong candle. Anyways, so get below that and I target 1.2 to 1.3 Rs. Boom, price came down, worked out really, really good. It just did not come close. I mean, it got really close to my 1.3 R target, but it turned around. My plan was I wanted to go short at least until this hourly 50 EMA. My typical rules for this 10 EMA strategy is if we are above the hourly 50 EMA, which is the pink line, I should look for longs, and if we're below it, I should look for shorts. But like I said, because of the situation we're in, with all the crazy bullish days, sometimes this hourly 50 EMA can act as a magnet. That's the way I was taught. And I was like, this is a great day to do that. Even the person that kind of showed me these rules of the strategies, when I told him about it, he was like, that wasn't a bad idea. It just, it just didn't come all the way down to my target. So to go long with the 10 EMA strategy, you would look for the first bear candle opening and closing above that 10 EMA line. You get in above it, you put your stop somewhere, like probably right here. Will be a good spot, and you would write it up. On this candle, when we got a second bear candle opening and closing above the 10 EMA line, I had an order set up like this, kind of like that. I didn't place it, but I just had it set up, and I was going to go for like 1.2 or something. But on this candle, I had to walk away. I got busy, basically, and I didn't end up placing the trade because I'm like, I kind of want to be here for it for some reason. Which was a good thing because I would have lost anyway. So this one didn't work out. Of course, I checked my phone and I saw this candle going up, 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 like that. And I was like, oh no, I should have placed the trade, but that didn't really work out anyways. So today was kind of a tricky day. At this point, I ended up drawing. I said, well, I kind of zoomed back out on the 3 minute and I'm like, what's happening? So I drew this trend line here, drew this little uptrend right here. And I was like, that's kind of a pennant pattern, Again, I'm not solely taking trades off of chart patterns or anything, but I do believe there is definitely some sentiment behind some of these patterns, and more so when they're getting closer to like finishing out, like when we're kind of trading down into these trend lines here. Again, my mind was still wanting to go short down to at least the hourly 50 EMA. So we got a new bull candle opening and closing below that 10 EMA. We're right at the bottom of this pennant pattern. I said, if bears want to roll it over, this would be pretty much the spot to do that. Oh yeah, but before that, so basically I moved my stop on this one and lost for about a 0.7 R loss, which definitely did hurt because I'm going to talk about that trailing drawdown in Apex in a little bit. So after this loss, I was feeling a little bad, I'm not going to lie. And I was getting at this point, I was now well into my drawdown, in Apex, my trailing drawdown. And I'm like, even if I win a trade, I'm still going to be in that drawdown. So I was just getting a little frustrated. But once this candle happened and we're at the bottom of this trend line, I'm like, if they're going to roll it over, it could be now. I got triggered in here, as you can see on these candles here. And when this consolidation started happening, I just couldn't hold. Again, I was thinking too much. I got a little emotional, thinking a little too much about that trailing drawdown. And I thought to myself, I said, wait a second, this is a PA account. This isn't an eval. Like, I can't just jump on every opportunity. And I kind of got psyched out, I guess. And I ended up exiting the trade for a small loss. It's like $52. And I canceled somewhere on this candle here. But of course, it worked out if I would have just held a little longer. I mean, I remember kind of watching, I said, okay, we broke down this trend line here of this pennant. I know there's probably going to be a retest. Well, here it was. I just couldn't handle it. But I think it was on this candle where I exited for that small loss of $52. Retest, and then it rolls right over. So that made me a little frustrated. And it hit my target right here. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten out, but I kind of contemplated on saying, I'm not going to take another trade for today. But again, I reminded myself that this is a PA account. This is not an eval. If there is a good enough opportunity, I should take it. And again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about the trailing drawdown that I'm already in. And I'm like, it just won't be too much longer for a couple more bad trades. And there it is. It's blown. And so I thought about that. As price came down, we're still above that hourly 50 EMA. I'm like, wow, I mean, the bulls are still really fighting, even though we've gone up 8 days in a row. That's crazy. Had kind of this double bottom form. I liked that. And then right around this time where I got we see a bear candle opening and closing above that 10 EMA. And this particular trade, it was in my regular rules of how I trade the strategy, which is, hey, when price is above this hourly 50 EMA, look for longs. That made sense. Around this time also as well, my favorite trading channel went live, and the person that kind of helped me with the strategies that I'm even doing he was looking at the charts, and I was kind of sort of setting up this trade and looking at it already, and then he sort of called it out. And I was like, you know what? That kind of just confirms what I want to do. And we basically ended up taking the same trade-ish, and this worked out. This saved my account for today. I shouldn't say saved my account. I mean, it helped me get a little bit more into into the green and not have my trailing drawdown, be into it so large. Got out at 1.2 with most of my, I had 3 contracts, and I exited 2 here and left a runner. We were a little scared of this high right here, which the guy that Calvin, he's a guy who on the channel that I watch, he was going to leave his runner for like the high of day. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. Around this time, I had to leave again. I just, because of what everything had happened this day, my emotions were a little high. And I'm like, I don't really want to have something running while I'm not like here, which I typically don't act like that. But I don't know, today it was just, that's just what it was. So I ended up exiting, and that got my account up. So this is where my Apex account is. Let me see. So $87 for my first trading day on this PA account. I'm not mad at it. It definitely could have been better. I wish I wouldn't have gotten in my head on this trade, but it is what it is. But what sucks, or, in my Apex account, you still see here that I'm in my drawdown still, a couple $100 or whatever. And that's what's so interesting about that active trailing drawdown. You could be up, but, still in that drawdown. I'm really thinking again about is there another prop firm that I should maybe do at the same time? I'm not saying that I feel like I'll be with Apex for a long time, but I'm not going to lie, that active trailing drawdown is a little crazy. And I understand a little more why it is so much easier to pass an eval with them than, do pretty well, in a PA account. So for a day like this, I don't think this was too bad. Again, could have been better. And I think, and let me just show you this. Let me kind of really tell on myself right now. You've got to see this. So yesterday would have been my first day trading, and I kind of chickened out. I ended up just kind of watching all of this happen. I had my main notes here that I deleted. I wish I would have had them, but again, and the biggest reason why I chickened out was because, again, this was the 8th day of us being bullish, but at this point, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I was a little skeptical of going long. I'm like, this is crazy. Like 7 days in a row. Like, I don't know, but my strategies say to go long. I don't know. It was weird, but check this out. Oh no, this is actually worse. What happened here. And I believe I wrote it in my notes. Actually, it's quite funny. I mean, I'll say it in a little bit, but watch all of this happen. This wasn't a real bear reset candle to go long above. We got the first real bear reset candle, after we closed below that 10 EMA. We came up, made that bear candle. I had set up a trade to get in above here, above this high and this high. And we smashed down. So I didn't get triggered on these trades, obviously. Smashed down. I'm like, ooh, that's craziness. We start coming back up, and I'm like, that's wild. It prints a third bear reset candle opening and closing above that 10 EMA. And I'm like, I think I have to go long here. Like, I have to do it. And at that point, I saw there's this pattern. I think this is called an ascending triangle. Again, who cares about the pattern, but there's some sentiment here. I'm like, okay, like if the bulls wanted to push it up, I mean, wow, would some bears be trapped? I mean, especially after like they thought they were really coming down right here. That did not happen. I had my order placed. Like the trade was actually in, and it was just waiting to get filled. Somehow, I think once this, and then I was confident in this trade because price came down again and we could not close back over or under the 10 EMA line. So I was like, the bulls fought real hard to keep price above that, that point. Had it up. I mean, the trade was literally sitting here like this. I forgot where I had my stop. I think it might have been, I don't know, let's say it's right here. I forgot exactly, but it was something like that. You know, after this candle, I wouldn't have gotten filled here, not here, not here. I would have gotten filled here. This little wick would have scared me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But then this next candle, I would have said, oh Lord, here we go, we're coming down. But it blasted off, and if you can see, I mean, and I definitely planned on leaving a runner on this particular day for as long as possible. Look what this day did. I mean, I couldn't believe, I just was kicking myself so hard. Oh, I didn't even tell you what I did. So I had the trade up placed, and then like 20 seconds before I would have gotten filled, something made me cancel the trade to redo it. I think I wanted to adjust my stop or something, or I was trying to document the numbers, like my entry and stop in my journal. And I don't know why I did that. It went to the entry and blasted off. And right when it got here, I had placed the new trade, and it didn't come back down. Didn't come back. It came back down here, but by this point, I was so like over it. I did not, I didn't leave that order open, but this was just a wild, wild day. That's the other reason why on today, I'm like, I don't want to go long, because even though the long trade saved me today, I'm like, we did this, yesterday. Are we going to do that again today, on this? But of course, I choose a day where it's like crazy, like crazy choppy. For tomorrow, I don't even know. I still kind of have the same thing. Like I was wanting to see a nice like bear candle come down to either here or even, like here or something, or I don't know, even to here, but that didn't happen. So this is still kind of a smaller bear day. Again, I don't know. I'm not too keen still on wanting to go long. Maybe we consolidate for a little bit before a direction is made. I mean, we did just go up. Like, this was just so crazy to me. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I may not even trade tomorrow if it looks too crazy. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Give this video a like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Or if you have any other prop firms that you could recommend that would be a little better for me to try out when it comes to the funded accounts. Not so much the evals, but the funded accounts. Again, the trailing drawdown on Apex really, that really is something for me, that trailing drawdown. But anyways, again, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.